Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Conversations with Michael and Katie. And I think this week we're going to talk about being married in quarantine.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm sure like that's nothing that we don't need to hear about. No, we need to hear about it. So, like being married in quarantine, um, is definitely interesting. Like there's some unique things that you kind of gotta walk through, work through. That's different than being married, and there is no quarantine. I think one, it's probably well, I'll let you speak to that. What do you like? Just what are your general thoughts on being married in quarantine? And this might end up turning to a real counseling session, right?
What I've learned during quarantine and then just in general over just being married the last almost 6 years
Yeah.
is to give each other the benefit of the doubt. It was
That's good.
something that definitely on trips
Ooh, yes.
that we do have to give each other.
That was what, the DC trip. That's when that started.
Right.
That's another story, another time.
But you give each other the benefit of the doubt because neither one of us wake up in the morning and say, for me, I'm gonna get Michael today. Like, no. So most of the time when things come out maybe in not the right tone or attitude, it's not because like I'm trying to get Michael today. It's because there's something else that's happening. So we have to give each other the benefit of the doubt and then figure out what the real root of the issue is.
Yeah.
But I think giving each other grace during this time and knowing that there's a lot of like feelings and emotion that can come into this. I mean, just day to day, for me, it goes back to what we talked about last time, having young children, and we just had a baby, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Newborn in quarantine. Next episode.
there's a lot of different things and changes that are happening just within our family, so just giving each other grace and the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's really good. Like the benefit of the doubt. Like in other words, just don't assume the worst about this person right now. So like you said, we adopted that on one family vacation, but it's really become something that we've tried to keep as a mainstay within our marriage, is to give each other the benefit of the doubt. I mean, like how much relevant could this be than in a time like now? Like we definitely have to give each other the benefit of the doubt because one, like we're married, but we're two individuals, two different people. So the way we think, the way we process things are going to look different. And so I can't get upset with Katie because she processes things, information differently from how I do. So I have to give her time, give her space, give her whatever her process is, let that play out. And what I need to know in the process is not for me to become offended because she didn't respond a way that I wanted her to respond. Which, let me just stop and pause. Like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful right now.
Well, thank
And I'm
you.
over here. Let's not even talk about this. Anyway, barbershops will open up soon, but
I can give you a haircut.
yeah, we don't want to see that conversation. But that's really good. I think here's something that I think is also something to consider, is that typically through in the non-quarantine part of our lives, pre-quarantine, typically like spouses, at least for you and I, like we would spend a portion of the day apart. Well, in this season, like we're working at home
All the
like all
time.
the time. So I think it's okay that if you find yourselves at some point throughout the day in completely different rooms, whether that's you're on the phone for work or your phone on the phone in a conversation with a friend or whatever the case may be, I think it's okay that you spend a few minutes in a different room or just doing something that
Yes.
you're doing outside of the other person, because in a normal setting in normal times it's obviously not uncommon for you to spend 7-8 hours apart, not seeing each other. Obviously, you may communicate via text and on the phone, but you may spend that amount of time apart. So don't put pressure on yourself in this season. I feel like, and I don't think we've done that, but don't put pressure on yourself thinking that you have to stay like in the same room with each other side by side. Like it's okay that if you need to go outside and do some work out there, or you need, or whatever the case may be, I think it's okay to have those moments of separation so that it still creates like this cool, experience when you come back together and like, all right, I'm off kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. So I think that's important in this quarantine season. All right. So, all right, pre-quarantine, we would have like, every now and then a date night, which has been interesting for us, being in this season where we live in a new city, where we're not home, and so it's difficult, or you have to get creative in terms of like your date nights because they're not as often because you don't have parents or whatever around. So that was already something we were getting creative with anyway. But now in this quarantine season where you really have to get creative in terms of like spending time with each other, which always like we put a huge emphasis on, because in my way of thinking, I'm like, there was us before there was them. In fact, because there was us, that's how we got them. So we always got to pay attention to us. But I guess our date nights or date moments, if you will, look different in this season.
Yeah, we just make sure we have that time. Our time is in the evenings. After all the kids go to sleep, we sit down, we talk, we have a conversation about anything, life, dreams, silly stuff, laugh, watch a show together, sometimes not watch anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just sitting, talking, or whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah. It's been cool. And I think the biggest thing that this has taught us, or is teaching us rather, is really to let go of pressure. I think sometimes even now we're all on social media, all on our phones a lot more to whatever degree. Maybe that's scaled back now that we're kind of deeper into this quarantine. But I think you can easily get caught up in seeing, all the creative ways that other couples are doing it, other things in terms of, spending time with each other. But here's a news flash. That's them. This is us, right?
Right.
So you have to do whatever works for you. And you may not feel like doing all that stuff. You may not be that cheesy or emotional, right? You may be like us, sit on the couch and watch Food Network, and our love tanks are full off of that, right? So don't put pressure thinking like, man, our love for each other must not be as deep as so-and-so's because, man, look what they're doing. They got all this, and, man, cool, that's good for so-and-so, but it doesn't mean that it's for us. And maybe it is. My point is, like, in this season, what we're trying to keep in front of us is to not put pressure thinking that what we do has to look like what others do. So what are some ways that you guys as married couples, like, what are you guys doing as far as making sure that the flame is strong and vibrant in this season? How are you getting creative to find ways to spend time with each other? Look, it's a community. Let's form this. I said that last time. We're not experts, obviously. I don't know why I say obviously, but we're not experts. But we want to know what you're doing. Let's talk about that. Let's create a conversation around that. So drop us a comment below and let us know. You can like this, share this, send this to a friend that you think it may help them. So anyway, until next time, this has been Conversations with Michael and Katie. Hey, if there's something you want us to talk about, we'll talk about it.
Sure.
We have an approach called Q&R, question and response. Can't guarantee you that we'll give you an answer, but we'll definitely give you a response. So until next time, and we will catch you guys later. Peace. We out.